Hello, everybody. We are back, and we want to move on to learn how to create draggable elements, right? So that you can be able to click on something like this, and you should be able to drag it around. Let's close this tab. Right? Cool. Okay, so let's just get to it. The first thing we want to do is we want to make sure that we have our motion imported and all that stuff. You can see, just created a new card right here, a new div right here, and then I give it this class name called draggable card, and I just added this app.css to it right here. You see, right? Fire stuff. Okay, cool. Um, yeah, and our previous lesson I also studied invariants, so you can also go there and check that out. Okay, so let's not waste too much time. The first thing we want to do is we want to apply this drag prop to this motion.dev elements that we have here, and quickly we should be able to drag it around just like this. Okay, so now you can see that as you keep dragging, it doesn't come back, right? Like if I wanted to come back, I have to like reset the whole thing, and like I can now drag it around. The intensity actually matters, right? Okay, cool. So now if we want to apply like a bunch of constraints, right? Like if you want to apply a certain limit to the points where the card can travel to, what we can do is you can set a new prop here called drag constraints right here. Okay, and you can like give it this, give it that right here, just like that, right? Open it up just like this, and let me just shift this to the side and put this to the side right here so you can see what is going on. I'll quickly refresh. Now uh now you can see right here that, okay, let me see one sec. Yeah, and bring this right here so you can see the code nice and clean. Okay, cool. And then let's put this right here. Oh, mistake. Okay, fire stuff. All right, cool. So you see the drag constraints that we have right here. We have the left, right, and then we have the right, right, and then we have the top, right. Oh, yeah, cool. And then we have the bottom, just like that. Okay, so I want you to look at it like this, right? You see, the other time when we were trying to understand the position and the movement and stuff like that, I think, is it button interaction? Yeah, it's position and movement. Yeah, when we're trying to understand the first lesson, or like somewhere within the first few lessons that we had, right? Like somewhere within first few lessons that we had, you realize that I was saying that the y-axis in freema motion, the negative, I was saying that the y-axis in freema motion, the negative is above, and then the positive is like below, right? And then for the left and right, which is the x-axis, is pretty much like the same thing, right? It's like, okay, left side is just normal negative, and like right side is positive, right? So now that we understand like this situation, what we are going to do is, you see this left side, since it's the normal negative, we can just say negative, so let's just give it a limit of -100, obviously, right? And like a positive of like the same 100, right? Now look at what will happen, right? Yeah, look at what will happen, right? So left negative, right positive, right? Look at what will happen. See, see, oh, come, okay, I want us to, let's just comment this out, right? You see, it keeps coming back, right? Like if yeah, I didn't set it up for top. I didn't set it up for top and bottom because I commented them out, right? But for the left and right, yeah, we did handle that. So you can see, even if I drag it like right out of the way, it will still come back to its original position based on what we just specified right here. Okay, so let's just uncomment this. So just like we said, for the y-axis, the top is going to be what? Negative, and then the bottom is going to be positive. That's why we can see it right here, right? That's why for the top, you're setting it to be negative, and then we are setting the bottom to be positive, right? Okay, cool, fire stuff. Okay, so now that we know that, let me just quickly show you. So you see, try to send it, and you see it keeps coming back to its original position. Yeah, right. So, but like for a typical draggable element, we want to set the left to be negative 130, just like that. And then we set the right to be 130, just like that. And then we set the top to be negative 40, and we set the bottom to also be negative, to also be 40, right? Since it's positive on like that side, right? And then look, see, fire stuff. You see, it's just like any normal draggable elements, right? Okay, cool, fire stuff. So now that we understand this, right, we want to also adjust how this whole elasticity works, right? Because like for the movements of it coming back and all that stuff, right? We want to adjust that, so we can just say drag elastic, just like that, and then we can set it to be 0. Let's set it to be 0. Right now, look at this. Look at this. See. So you see, when we try to take it out of its lane, look at how fast it gets back into position, right? You see, it's just weird, right? And then if we also set it to be 1, look at what happens. One sec. Using my touchpad. So yeah, look at what happens, right? See, it's not realistic. See, it's not realistic. So one of the best, a few of the best values that can be applied is 0.2 or 0.5, just like that, right? Look, you see, exactly, right? Or 0.2. So based on what floats your boat, but I mean, I would recommend 0.2. So based on what floats your boat, you can just use that. Okay, cool. All right, so that's pretty much that's the lesson on how to create and work with draggable elements in Framer Motion, or with Framer Motion, right? Okay, thank you very much for getting to this part of the video. Hopefully I'll see you in the next one.